let's cut straight to the chase. I am excited, because this kind of video will be the meat and potatoes for this channel. Building encounters. There are a lot of ways to build an encounter, but I want to share basics of my approach. Here's an encounter I built a while ago. The genesis of the idea was a road in the forest where enemies would come from both sides, forcing characters to fight back to back. A bit more context. My campaign was set in Barovia, a Curse of Strahd adventure, and I needed a mood-setting encounter. Characters just got out of the first village, so they kinda knew what they were up against, but only through talking to NPCs and not actually encountering any undead. So a zombie ambush in the forest was very fitting. Here is a rough outline. A thin cobblestone road. I wanted majority of the map to be taken up by forest, to have a bit of a claustrophobic edge, with border rocks along the road, imposing difficult terrain for those who pass through them. This decision served two purposes. First, to give a bit more natural obstacles for zombies to overcome, and secondly, to keep player characters from running off into the forest. In my experience, players hate going over the difficult terrain. This is a 4 format, so to give players a bit more space to maneuver, I printed out a lot of them. The starting positions. I decided to put my characters not on the edge of the map, but in the middle, and show them they are getting cut off from behind just as well as from the front. During first enemy round, I introduced the concept of waves, again to increase the level of dread and danger. As for the enemy stat blocks, I would suggest take baseline skeleton and lower armor class to around 12 and increase hit points to 15 or so. The challenge comes from overwhelming numbers, not individual monsters. This encounter is fun for no higher than level 4 characters. Then it becomes more tedious than dangerous. I wanted to end this encounter when characters would have killed enough enemies to warrant the title of Heroic Stand. But that's not what actually happened. As brave adventurers traveled through the dark forest, shambling silhouettes, at first barely visible through the thick bushes, started pouring into the road. At this point I put the map on the table, set the markers, and asked to roll for initiative. My group's composition was a fighter, rogue, barbarian, sorcerer, and 2 bards, one of whom was a goddamn College of Glamour subclass, which provides a lot of mobility and survivability for the entire party. All was going well until the players witnessed the second wave arrive during the first turn. They decided to run, because it was obviously an unending horde of zombies they watched so much in the movies. And I can't blame them, because it was such a logical conclusion. So the party tried to punch through the horde, but in doing so they kinda split up. The invisible sorcerer was running away unimpeded, after thinning the ranks of undead with a few well-placed AoE spells. The rogue, taking advantage of the safe corridor, escaped, discovering that stealthing using border rocks was very effective. Glamour Bard followed Rogue's example, but was always in a range to provide support for less stealthy and more bloodthirsty party members, giving them hit points and movement outside their initiative sequence. At this point Barbarian found his groove and started wiping the floor with the remaining zombies. So in conclusion, I want to suggest you be flexible in your execution of the encounter. Don't hold your carefully constructed encounter as a sacred cow. Go with the flow of what players are actually playing, and adjust on the fly. It's a fine balance of rewarding players for bold risk-taking and punishing them for foolhardy actions and blatant disregard for danger. The stroke of genius is putting players in a mindset of understanding that taking risk could lead to success, with the danger of proportional failure. No character should die when trying to jump a puddle. I hope this video was entertaining and informative to watch. If so, please subscribe and leave a comment. See you in the next video, and good luck with your rolls.